Sat Nam. So today I'm going to just share a bit about the heart chakra center. There is a lot I could share, but we're just going to have a 15-minute YouTube on it. So first of all, if you want to work with it right in this moment, it's about your air element. So it's your breath, and that would be the greatest thing to remember of all things. So inhaling belly, expanding, breathing up into the chest, expanding the rib cage and up into the collarbones if you're comfortable with that. And then exhaling from your collarbones down the chest. Slowly bring the belly back towards the spine. Gently hold and inhale belly, chest, collarbones. Hold and exhale back down. So the more you feel that you can breathe in life and you're comfortable with that, the more you are working with your heart center, and the more your heart center will also clear things for you. So if you're going through tough times, and often when we are stressed, you will notice there's a shallow breath happening or holding the breath, mostly because the body and mind connection is trying to figure out whether you're meant to run or have fight or flight response going on. So in that moment, there's a pause, the body might be in shock, there might be, and that's how these patterns are created. So one of the ways to overcome that is to become very aware of your breath, which is, in my opinion, one of the highest spiritual practices that will lead to the greatest positive outcome. A smooth, even breath means a smooth, even life. It means you change your brain chemistry, and it means that you literally see things totally differently. The more smooth and even your breath is, the more everything will work for you. It balances your chakra centers, and it also gives you a certain presence. Yogi Bhajan said that people don't fall in love with you so much, they fall in love with how you are breathing. There's a perception. Just like we are not always aware of why we resonate with somebody, there are many things we perceive that we might not be conscious of. One of them is how people breathe. And when someone has a very calm, even presence, people are naturally more resonant and drawn towards a person like that. Why? For many reasons. It would obviously be something that's either conscious or unconscious. And if it was conscious, you would realize that someone who breathes in a calm, centered way and is conscious in that way will be more conscious about things that they're doing, full stop. It's an innate awareness that someone like that is in their center. And the heart chakra is the chakra here that blends the lower three chakras, so the lower three and the upper three meet at the heart center. And so one of the most powerful fields that you have is your heart radiance or your heart chakra center. It is very much something that speaks far louder than your words or the way you look or whatever it is that you're doing. That is perceived, that vibration. And people like it when you have a balanced heart center, and people are attracted to someone who is capable of loving themselves versus not loving themselves and then probably being draining and latching on, and also not offering an unconditional love or friendship. Love is a broad spectrum. Who defines love as what is another big topic. So I won't really define love right now, but just a general term of what we would use. So it is also linked with the shoulders, because you've got the secondary breathing muscles here. So the more you tighten the shoulders, the more you will suppress your heart center through the suppression of the breath. The more you roll the shoulders back and release shoulder tension through yogic practices that we do in class, and that most of yoga classes probably are doing, you will free up your breath, and also you will start to reprogram yourself to realize when you are tightening the shoulders under stress, and that most times you don't need it. So you become conscious of staying present and relaxed. The jaw, as always, is relaxed because that's the vagus nerve, and you want to keep that in a balanced flow. And then you have this very nice smooth breath. So here we have a green spinning wheel of light. It's a consciousness inside you, and it is when we work from the solar plexus up, we have a gateway, and there's a gateway to the heart, and it's also a granthi or a knot that people need to encounter and really embrace so that we can really open the heart fully. So that path from the belly or the solar plexus as the kundalini rises up to move into the heart center from I, the lower three chakras, to we, is a process in itself, and it is something very, very beautiful. It doesn't mean you don't have a sense of self or boundaries or an ego, but you are opening up in a way towards yourself first, that then is expressed outwardly as well. And the immune system is linked to this. Your thymus gland is linked to this, which is why when you are heartbroken, you often get sick, or when you feel unloved, or when things are feeling cold. So the immune system is highly linked with this. And of course, you also realize that, when people are very sick, there's often breath problems. The lungs and heart is interconnected here. And that's where the loving touch can make so much healing happen. And the other thing to realize is that your arms are the aspect of your body. In terms of when we work in a Kundalini Kriya, we work a lot of arm exercises and working that breath and the arms, really opening that up. So the arms and hands are associated with working with this chakra center, which makes sense. When you love someone, you end up hugging them usually, or expressing with your fingers. When you want to help someone, you often put your hands on, or that warmth, and it's just very natural and innate. In fact, we know everything, we've just kind of forgotten or drifted away from some of that awareness. So there's a lot of ways to recognize if the heart center is balanced or not. It can seem a little bit confusing because there is always the side of over expression, which is actually not healthy. And for example, one of the things that struck me as fascinating is when people are very, very orientated around helping others, and they're always out there helping, and doing it for free potentially, and all this is fine, but they're neglecting themselves at the same time. So a truly balanced heart means that a person isn't just going out and traveling to India or trying to teach or trying to do whatever they're doing, as an example, and then ignoring their family or their actual home base, because it's almost a running away from your own self-love and from sitting in your own heart and sitting with your own family, in your own immediate things that the universe has brought around you to deal with. So it's that helper syndrome, and that I'll help you, I'm always going to be here for you, and in the same vein, the person is really, really drained, and you can see it, they're just really depleted. So there is a bit of a program there that I want to be loved, and so I'm going to give that love, and I'm going to be that amazing mom or that amazing auntie or that amazing wife. And it's a very complex, deep thing that person really feels they need to do that to earn the love and to get that response. It's part of a role play and part of an identity. And sometimes that's really healthy if it's a two-way street, and other times it becomes quite an unhealthy situation, and someone may even sacrifice their whole life for that. Now, if they are a martyr or they are on a holy pilgrimage and they've decided that consciously, again, that would be a different story. But I meet a lot of women that are really taking their role as a wife or as a parent, even when the children are 30 years old, extreme to such a degree that they're getting sick, and that they're not really enjoying life, and they're always thinking about someone else, which is beautiful, but they have forgotten to actually give themselves time out and to have a few boundaries. So when the heart chakra is healthy, there's this give and take, there is this harmony, and there is this awareness about wanting to honor the self. When you really love yourself, you know that you need rest. You know that you deserve a massage or a holiday. When your heart chakra for yourself isn't balanced, it can express that way outwardly of giving too much and not giving back to yourself, giving outwardly too much. So yeah, when the heart chakra works for you, very peaceful and clear, and it's a very beautiful, powerful magnetic field that you will have. So it really is also linked with your ability to feel good inside just on your own, and having that ability to feel fulfilled and not to be clingy and reaching out. In relationships, heart chakra that's not balanced and needs some attention is often going to have relationships that are perhaps more superficial, more based around protocols, and can be codependent quite often, and sometimes two people are attracted that way and serve themselves. And that is just to not look into those woundings that have happened, and really, as you breathe and really own your heart and really connect with the well-being and your inner love, you will find that this will shift for you, and you can really transcend that kind of unfulfilling or very tense situation. Because if the person changes, you're going to feel a lot of stress and trauma, because you are putting your needs and dependency on someone else. And we need to realize that everybody has their own journey, and we have ours, and then we meet from that place and we honor what that is. We cannot completely keep someone perfectly nurtured 24/7. It's just, there is God taking care of things, and you can only do your best, and let people know that you love them, express that, and then find that balance. So you will have a radiance about you, versus if your heart center is not that way, you will not feel so radiant. You will have a bit more obstacles. You will probably be more easily hurt. You can be easily pushed out of balance when the heart center isn't working well for you. And the shadow side of it is grief. Grief really blocks that up. So it's really important for us to release whatever grief there is. Forgiveness for the self and for others. Others did the best they could, and so did you. So they're beautiful processes I could highly recommend to you, and really free up your heart. Whatever's happened in the past was then, and you have changed and you have learned and grown, and it was a gift. It was a learning that you had to go through. We all have those ones. And the best thing to do, if you can, is to realize, thank you, there was a gift and there is a gift, and now I don't want to carry the injury around with me anymore. I want that to heal. I want to embrace, why do I need to carry this when I'm finished with my lesson? And then start to breathe more openly. So open the front of your chest in terms of when you're breathing in and out, and the shoulder blades at the back. Often we can get them tight because we felt stabbed in the back in the past, and we intuitively keep that area closed off. So the other thing that you can notice when it comes to heart chakra is often an imbalanced body. The spine, you can see, is not straight. The person isn't standing tall in themselves. There's that lack of standing tall and vibrant and centered from within, often associated. And also there can be linked with that a deep sense of insecurity, a worship of idolism, for example, wanting to belong to a group. Because imagine that if you're feeling kind of lost and you don't feel the self-love, you will try to find it somewhere else, because it's natural that we all want to feel loved. It's just completely natural. And so people will look at in all sorts of places, and sometimes those places are healthy and sometimes they're not. So a lot of people like to belong, like into groups, into cults, into clubs, and all of that is not always wrong. I'm not saying it's black and white, but be mindful, is this working for you? Are you losing yourself in a structure, versus are you committed to yourself? Are you committed to listening to your divine heart? So here we have the unstruck sound. There's a rhythm, as we know, boom 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 boom, and there's that silence. So it's that silence, there's the presence, and there's an innocence. There's a real innocence when you connect to your heart. And it's really a beautiful thing, that breath, the expansive space, the element of air in your life in many different forms and shapes. The flow is associated. You see, each chakra has certain qualities that will come together again. And of course, the most obvious one is that ability to accept yourself for who you are, how you are in this moment. So in class, I often suggest, can you, just for this moment, accept everything, that you did do your best. And do this right now if you're watching this and you're ready. Because when you accept, okay, I was annoying here, I was probably grumpy there, whatever that is within you, all of that, you can journal that and really say, okay, that is how I behaved, that is how I felt. Once you empty that out and embrace it by saying, yes, I'm not going to push that aside, and yes, I felt hurt here, and yes, I feel like I'm putting up with too much there, and yes, I feel guilty because I felt I should have loved more, or I feel like I've let myself down, or I feel like others have let me down, whatever that is. The moment you can write that down and embrace it is the moment of transformation. Literally, the moment you can accept that and forgive yourself. And it's not even a forgiveness in the end. In the end, it is just a seeing. Wow, that was like a movie a while ago, but I'm still carrying that now. And in a sense, what I often say as well in my teachings is that, do you really want to give that person the power so that you are still hurting after all this time? Have they kind of moved on and maybe passed over, or you don't even see them, or they're still not treating you beautifully, and you're still holding this hurt like a thorn in your heart? Is that really worth it, honestly? No one would be able to say yes to that. You deserve to breathe freely. You deserve to feel your beautiful heart center, your absolutely beautiful heart center. It's there for sure, no doubts. And when we embrace that, we change our environment, we change the world. Now, easiest way is just to put your left hand on top of your heart, right hand on top, feel that warmth, and just whatever bubbles up, let yourself meet that. Really, just be radical and go, that's okay. Because you know what? If you knew better, you would have done differently. That is for sure. You don't know why you did what you did. Even you don't know if that is because of something happened in your childhood, or even in a past life, or something that you've forgotten about that really hurt you, and because of that you are protective of yourself, or guarded, or angry, or hurt, and therefore trying to compensate. But the way out of that is to feel it like a crying baby. Embrace it. Feel that warmth, because we can also use this to connect to our inner child and really feel that little girl or that little boy inside you, and feel that commitment to, I'm not going to abandon you, I'm here, and we're allowed to feel all these feelings, perhaps feelings that you weren't allowed to feel when you were younger. So there is a lot of work that can be done here, and it is a big thing. It makes a huge difference to your life, and we are moving through this plane of consciousness that's really shifting, and part of the heart chakra is immense. It will help you a lot. So just breathing at ease, work the shoulders, like inhale right, exhale right, inhale left, exhale left, inhale both, exhale both. Notice that, maybe get more massages across the shoulders, or massage yourself. Often an alternate hand, so the right hand across on the left, is really good and really works well. And do journal that stuff, and ask to firstly forgive yourself for having forgotten, for having maybe put up with things. And everyone does that from time to time, honestly. And people will understand, and you'll free yourself from this bondage of pain and projection, and maybe repeating certain patterns. If you're worried about abandonment, for example, really meet that within, because you were never abandoned, you were never alone. You always had your divine self and your heart and this beautiful energetic inside you, which is you. And that softness, that openness, feel that as you close your eyes. You deserve the best. If you're feeling unworthy, let yourself feel that and release that. Have those tears, write it down, get angry, whatever it is. Why would anybody not be worthy? There is just no logic to that, no reason, I can't imagine a single reason. It's just a non-truth. And this is why people with suppressed heart centers feel tormented, conflicted, manipulative, and they can't really enter a deep, intimate relationship. I'm not talking sexually intimate, I'm talking really meeting and being vulnerable. This is also about a spiritual love, like a spiritual relationship with somebody. A spiritual love, it's not just physical, it's the mental and the spiritual dimension that is being met in that relationship with yourself first, and hence with somebody else that you might choose. It's very beautiful, and that's also, in my mind and my experience, how you attract your soulmate. You have to find that heart space within. Until then, you might journey along and meet other people that are just, helping you to embrace that. But when you really embrace your heart and your beauty and your divinity, it just has to be met by someone who can see that in you equally, and vice versa. So let yourself breathe at ease. Maybe open those arms wide and bring them forward. Inhale out, exhale forward. Open up, take up that space. Feel the heart opening, feel the shoulder blades softening. And just occasionally do these exercises. Do some Kundalini yoga for the heart chakra. I can give you a Kriya for that. You can look something up online. You can also have a practice. It's so worth it. And by the way, when you do Kundalini yoga, you never ever just do one chakra. It's always holistic. So when you work on the heart chakra, you will also automatically have the integration of the other centers. It will always be healthy and holistic in that way. So yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know what you're feeling, if you want to, or journal it. When you start to put it on paper, it really does create a shift. You can always burn it later if you feel, oh, I don't want someone else to read it. That's fair enough. People could misunderstand. You can burn it later as part of a ceremony to let that stuff go. And when we do Kundalini yoga or a particular practice, it will help you to also do this practice more. Just listening to this YouTube may help you, but it is much deeper when you go into the deep meditative awareness of the class. My classes are all very meditative. They're all about your own union with yourself. And so we're constantly having a really beautiful, healthy breath. We're working and warming and connecting the body up with ourselves fully. And it becomes much, much easier to realize how beautiful you are and that you can let go of things. And this will benefit your family, your friends, the world, and everything. So Sat Nam, be gentle with yourself and have a beautiful night or day or afternoon.